I woke up before my alarm clock rang. August in Arizona is hot even before dawn. In our Section 8 apartment in the quiet residential area of Paradise Valley, only the hum of the old air conditioner broke the silence in our second-floor home. The clock showed 6 a.m. There was still time before my afternoon shift at Desert Ridge Marketplace. Through the window, the eastern sky was beginning to turn slightly orange. The shadow of Camelback Mountain was slowly dissolving in the morning sun. I'm Jennifer Clark, 35 years old. For the past 3 years, I've been working as a barista at the mall's Starbucks. My income of $17 per hour plus tips doesn't allow for luxuries, but things have gotten a bit easier since my promotion to shift leader. I haven't given up on my dream from my community college accounting days. With the help of food stamps and Medicaid, I'm slowly saving up to get my accountant certification someday. At the gardening club after Sunday church, I exchange information and encouragement with other single mothers like myself. Standing in the kitchen, I start preparing Michael's lunch. My 6-year-old son is in kindergarten at Desert View Elementary School. He's such a responsible child that he was chosen as Student of the Month in Mrs. Johnson's class. He's good at singing hymns in Sunday school and is beloved by the church teachers. Good morning, Mom. Before 7 o'clock, Michael appears in the kitchen, earlier than usual. I smile softly at his gesture of helping with the dishes while still in his pajamas. His thoughtful nature must be innate. Are you going to basketball practice today? Yes. To get into the NBA, I need to practice every day. His dream is to become a professional basketball player. It's encouraging to see him practice daily at the park court. But sometimes, he shows a lonely expression, as if remembering his father. Just before 8 o'clock, we get into my used Toyota Corolla. The engine's not running great, but it still gets us where we need to go. After dropping him at school, I'll shop at Dollar Tree. I need to take winter clothes to the cleaners too. In the evening, I'll pick up my son again. Cooking dinner together is our precious time. On weekends, we have picnics at the nearby park. It's modest, but there's genuine happiness. Mom, do your best today too. Michael waves at the school gate. His smile is my greatest treasure. Driving to school, I sometimes look at my son through the rearview mirror. 2 years since the divorce. Memories of my ex-husband Steven still linger in the depths of my heart. He's a 37-year-old construction worker at a local company. Initially, he was a kind husband and good father. When Michael was born, he visited the hospital daily and eagerly helped care for our newborn. But 3 years ago, when his company downsized and his salary decreased, he began to change gradually. It started with horse racing. I'll definitely win it back, he'd say, spending his salary. Then came online gambling. The debts grew, and strange men would show up at our house in the middle of the night. When I begged him to stop, he'd explode with anger, yelling at me in front of Michael. The final straw was when he tried to take Michael's Medicaid card. When I saw him attempting to use our son's medical expenses for gambling money, I made my decision. I fled to a nearby DV shelter and proceeded with divorce proceedings with support from the church. Now there are visits twice a month. Child support payments are irregular, last month's was late too. But for Michael's sake, I can't complain. I heard he recently started living with his new girlfriend. Rachel, apparently she works at a real estate company. When can I see Dad next? Sometimes Michael asks this. Seeing my son looking forward to visitation days stirs complicated feelings. But I firmly believe he has the right to love both parents equally. This is what I vowed to myself during the divorce. Desert View Elementary School comes into view. Some children are already playing in the schoolyard. Mrs. Johnson, Michael's teacher, is greeting students at the gate. She understands my situation well and always shows consideration for my son. Michael, did you finish all your homework? Yeah. I did it properly even while playing with Dad. My son's voice is cheerful as he talks about yesterday's visitation. Steven seems to be valuing his time with our son lately. Maybe it's his new girlfriend's influence. Before getting out of the car, Michael flashed me a smile from the back seat. At that moment, my chest tightened. The divorce was the right decision. Even though things are tough now, I believe we can build a new life together, just the two of us. There's still time before my Starbucks shift begins. After finishing the morning drop-off, I head to Dollar Tree again today. While looking for sale items, I calculate our household budget. I need to use food stamps wisely and increase our savings bit by bit. The moment the alarm clock struck 6 o'clock, I was already awake. Since last night, some nagging anxiety wouldn't go away. Yesterday was visitation day. Steven seemed unusually attentive to Michael's care. I start preparing pancakes in the kitchen. While pouring the mix bought from Dollar Tree into a bowl, I wondered, what kind of time did Michael spend with his father yesterday? Usually, he'd enthusiastically tell me about all the fun things they did. Michael, time to wake up. The moment I opened my son's bedroom door, something felt off. Michael's cheeks were noticeably red as he lay in bed. Are you feeling sick? When I touched his forehead, it definitely felt warm. Just a slight fever, but I'm worried. Mom. I want to go to school. Michael says in a weak voice. But he won't touch the pancakes. He's hugging his new backpack, looking like he wants to say something, gripping unusually tight the bag he got from Steven yesterday. Maybe you should stay home. My chest tightens. Today is an important shift. If I take time off, this month's budget will be tight. Even with Medicaid, unexpected expenses are scary. In the end, he decided to go to school. In the car, Michael was unusually quiet. At every red light, I check on him in the rearview mirror. Several times he starts to say, Dad, but stops himself. At 10 a.m., my phone rings. Mrs. Clark. Michael is resting in the nurse's office. Hearing Mrs. Johnson's voice, I made an immediate decision. I'll come right away. I called my supervisor and got permission to take time off. My foot pressed harder on the accelerator. Michael looked worse than I'd imagined as he lay in the nurse's office. He seemed worried and couldn't concentrate in class. I nodded at the nurse's explanation while holding my son's hand. Sorry, Mom. Michael apologizes in a weak voice. While classmates peek in with concern, I complete the early dismissal procedures. Back at the apartment, first comes hydration. I search the kitchen cabinet for oral rehydration solution from our last hospital visit. I also prepare apple juice bought with food stamps, adding ice. Drink it slowly, okay? I rub Michael's back as he lies on the sofa. His forehead seems a bit cooler. But there's another kind of anxiety visible in my son's expression. About Dad. Suddenly Michael starts to speak but stops. Still hugging his new backpack, he falls silent again. Did something happen during yesterday's visit? The clock shows 11 o'clock. There's still time before the afternoon shift. Michael has started taking a light nap. Looking at his sleeping face, I'm lost in thought. Stephen's child support payments have become irregular lately. Maybe something changed since he started living with Rachel. At 12:30, the thermometer shows a normal temperature. Just as I'm breathing a sigh of relief, Michael suddenly sits up. Mom, I want to go shopping. This unexpected request catches me off guard. But you're still not feeling. I'm okay. I'm better now. There was something urgent in his voice. As if there was a reason he had to go shopping. I check my wallet contents. Food stamps card, cash, and bill statements. While making today's shopping list, I iron my uniform. Are you really okay? Yes. Michael stares out the window while tightly hugging his new backpack. His body trembles slightly whenever he mentions Dad. The change in his behavior since yesterday worries me deeply as a mother. It's as if he's hiding something. But can't talk about it. My concern only deepens seeing my son like this. The change in his condition might be psychological. 1 hour until my afternoon shift at Target. My son's sudden desire to go shopping. His unusual attachment to the new backpack. And his silence since yesterday's visit. Perhaps these were all signs. But at that time, I still didn't understand. As I pulled into the underground parking at Desert Ridge Marketplace, the familiar coolness welcomed us. In Arizona's August, the surface is scorching. The underground parking is like a lifesaver. Michael, are you really okay? Watching my son's back as we walked toward the elevator, I kept checking. Still worried about his morning illness, I was grateful for Target's cool interior. I'm fine. Though his response was bright, I could see the tension in his hands gripping the new backpack. His reflection in the elevator's security mirror showed traces of anxiety. The store is comfortable with air conditioning. It's a relatively quiet weekday afternoon. Taylor Swift's new song plays in the background. Regular customers are eagerly checking the sale corners. Mom, can I push the cart? Michael chooses a red shopping cart. He's enthusiastic, as if his morning illness never happened. First to the grocery section. Carefully selecting items eligible for food stamps. Milk and 2 loaves of bread are on sale. 1 carton of eggs, a bunch of bananas. Found a discount sticker on chicken. Mom, this is on sale too. Michael finds laundry detergent on special. Toilet paper and toothpaste were also items I'd checked in this week's flyer. In the stationery section, we select colored pencils and notebooks for school. My son occasionally seems to check inside his backpack. Is something bothering him? 1:45 p.m., heading to checkout. The self-checkout is crowded, but I spot our regular cashier Sarah. Her lane is relatively empty. Hello, Michael. How was school today? Sarah greets him. Michael stays silent, carefully arranging items on the belt. Usually, he'd chat back cheerfully. I take out my food stamps card from my wallet. The surrounding customers maintain their usual calm atmosphere, not knowing this would be the last peaceful moment. Mrs. Clark, you found today's sale items well. Sarah efficiently scans the items. Milk, bread, chicken. Her thoughtfulness in grouping food stamps eligible items first for payment is much appreciated. Thank you. I checked all of this week's flyers. I answer with a smile while watching Michael. He continues silently arranging items. Usually, he'd exchange jokes with Sarah or look forward to getting stickers. New candy displays line the checkout aisle. Usually, he'd beg, "Mom, can I have that?" But today he shows no interest. Instead, he clutches his backpack with both hands. There's something desperate in that gesture. "Michael, is that new bag a present from Dad?" Sarah casually asks. At that moment, my son's body slightly trembles. "Yes." A faint reply. Eyes fixed on the floor. The total appears on the display. I check what can be covered by food stamps and what needs cash. While taking bills from my wallet, I sensed something was wrong with my son. Something had been different since yesterday's visit. But I still didn't understand what that something was. Just then, the store's background music cut out, creating a moment of silence. The next instant, a piercing anti-theft gate alarm rang out. As shoppers turned around, my heart jumped. "Don't move." A low, authoritative voice. Turning around, I saw 3 police officers already surrounding us. Phoenix PD's navy blue uniforms. Badges gleaming on their chests, one wearing a body camera. Is something wrong?" My voice trembled. While surrounding shoppers watched with bated breath, cashier Sarah covered her mouth with her hand. The daily necessities in our cart stood as witnesses to our normal life until now. "Show us what's in the bag." One officer points to my brown shoulder bag. I could feel Michael trembling behind me. His hands gripped his new backpack even tighter. "Yes, of course." With shaking hands, I open the bag. Wallet, smartphone, lip balm. And, the officer's hand quickly pulls something out. A shiny white box. Apple Watch Series 9. Still with product tags and security tag attached. The $499 price tag gleams oddly under the fluorescent lights. My mind goes blank. "Please explain this." What appears to be a senior officer fixes me with a stern gaze. The surrounding air seemed to freeze. This isn't mine." A desperate voice. But the officer's expressions don't change. Sarah watches me with disbelief. "We have you on security cameras." Another officer states coldly. "That's impossible." Words fail me. How could I, who relies on food stamps, afford such an expensive purchase? "You're under arrest." The sound of handcuffs being taken out echoes unusually loud. That's when it happened. "No!" Michael's cry echoes through the silent store. There was a strength in my son's voice I'd never heard before. "Dad said, we'll make Mom look bad so I can get you back." My son's voice trembles. But he continues in a clear tone. "Dad called it Operation Present and put the watch in Mom's bag. He tried to make me help, but Mom doesn't know anything." The police officer's expressions change. The store manager is called, and we're quickly directed to the security room. A small room surrounded by white walls, lined with multiple monitors. "Mrs. Clark, please look at this footage." The security officer operates the keyboard, and footage from 30 minutes ago appears. While I was selecting discounted items in the produce section, Stephen's figure appears. Pretending to look at shelf products, he deliberately approaches my bag. Another camera captured his movements in the electronics department. Checking Apple Watch inventory, talking with the cashier. And the moment he hides it in the new backpack. Michael, can you tell us again in detail what your dad told you? A female officer gently addresses my son. Holding my hand tightly, Michael begins to tell what happened since yesterday. His voice trembles, but he pronounces each word clearly. Yesterday, Dad gave me the new backpack, said it was a fun surprise for Mom. Said putting the watch from inside into Mom's bag would be a fun operation. My son takes a deep breath and continues. But at night, I heard Dad talking on the phone with Rachel, saying, this will definitely get her an arrest record. It'll be advantageous in the custody battle. During Michael's testimony, the monitors continued showing footage from various angles. Stephen waiting for our arrival at the store entrance. Him checking his watch repeatedly. And scenes of him showing the backpack contents to my son while giving instructions. So that's why you weren't feeling well this morning. I held my son's shoulders, finally understanding all the puzzling pieces. Yes. I couldn't tell you about Dad's plan, but I didn't want you to be made into a bad person. The security room clock showed 2:30 p.m. Outside the window, Arizona's strong sunlight beat down. Police officers were on phones with headquarters, ordering Stephen's arrest. I held my trembling son tightly. How much anguish and courage had been packed into this small body. You're such a strong boy. Thank you for telling the truth. Warm tears rolled down my cheeks. Whatever difficulties lay ahead, I knew we could overcome them together. That certainty warmly enveloped my heart. 1 week after the incident, in the Phoenix Police Department interrogation room, all the truth came to light. In the closed space, Stephen's heavy confession echoed. Why did you plan this? To the detective's question, Stephen spoke while looking down. Well, everything was at a dead end. Gambling debts snowballed, collection calls every day. In a trembling voice, he continued. Plus, marriage plans with Caroline, who I met at the casino, were progressing. Investigations revealed that Stephen had started dating Caroline Murphy, who worked at a local casino, 3 months ago. She owned a home and wanted to marry soon. However, Stephen's financial situation was terrible. Caroline says she wants children. But I can't even pay current child support for Michael. At this rate, there's no future with her either. The fluorescent lights illuminated Stephen's tired expression. So you tried to take custody of Michael? Yes, when I consulted a lawyer, they said if there was a criminal record, especially for theft, it would be disadvantageous in custody battles, showing unfitness for child rearing. Stephen began revealing the details of his plan. First, he studied my shopping patterns at Target. During visits with Michael, he also checked the security camera locations. Then he came up with Operation Present, using our son. Why did you try to involve your son in such a scheme? There was anger in the female detective's voice. I thought Michael would believe me. At these words, the air in the interrogation room froze. The investigation revealed other facts too. The phone conversation with Caroline. This will get us custody, we can start a new life. Michael had accidentally overheard this conversation. That's why my son had been feeling sick since morning. 1 month later. Our lives were slowly taking new shape. The court completely suspended Stephen's visitation rights, and a protection order was issued. At the Starbucks in Target, my co-workers showed surprising understanding. They readily accepted shift adjustments, allowing me more time with my son. Jennifer, everyone's moved by the strength of your bond with Michael. Store manager Mary kindly told me. The church community became a great support too. In Sunday school, Michael gradually regained his smile. His voice singing hymns became stronger than before. One Sunday after service, while having a picnic at the nearby park. "Mom, I'm glad I told the truth that time," Michael said quietly while munching on his sandwich. "You must have been very scared." "Yes. But..." Michael looked up at the sky and continued. "I'm glad I didn't help with Dad's plan. Because I don't want to be separated from you." I hugged my son tightly. "Mom is so proud of you too. You've grown into such a brave boy." The sunlight gently embraced us. Nearby, church friends were preparing for a barbecue. Watching this scene, Michael whispered softly, "Hey Mom, can you forgive Dad?" I searched for words to answer this honest question. "It might take time, but someday, surely. Because he's your father." Under Arizona's blue sky, new hope was beginning to sprout. Our story was just beginning its true start. The bond between mother and son would surely grow stronger and deeper from here on.